Hi everyone, in this video we are going to solve question number 197, rising temperature. It's on level easy in lead code. So the table name is weather. It has three columns: ID integer, record date, and temperature integer. ID is the column with unique values for this table. So every row or every record will have a unique value which will be associated with ID. There are no different rows with the same record date. So for every date, there will be a single record date. The table contains information about the temperature on a certain day. So for 2015-01-02, the temperature was 25 degree. For 03, 20. So there will not be any cases where there will be two record dates or there will be one record date in the two records. So there will not be any cases where like this value will get repeated 2015-01-04 and then again 2015-01-04. So write a solution to find all ID with higher temperatures compared to its previous day yesterday. So we have to find all the IDs, ID of this ID from this column where higher temperature compared to its previous dates. So which will have higher temperature compared to its previous date. So 25, we'll see it here, it has higher temperature compared to its previous day yesterday. So we will return to 20. So this is not higher than its previous date, so we will not return 30. And then we will return this one, no, sorry, will not return ID3, but we'll return ID4 because 30 is greater than 20 and 03 was previous day compared to the 04. So I have already created the table and inserted some random records. So if we'll see it here, so we will return ID2 because the temperature is greater than the previous day. We will not return 3, we will return 75 or ID4, and we will not return 5. So let's see how we can do it. So there are multiple ways to do it. First approach is using joins. Now there is only one table, so we know that we have to use the self join. So this is how I'll do it. Select from weather w, join weather, let's say pre or previous pre on. Now we know that in order to join these two tables, two similar tables, but we don't want to join them on the ID because that will just duplicate the records. So we will not join on the ID. So we will write where w.id should not be equal to pre.id. Let's see what's the result we are getting. So if we'll see, we are getting this result where the IDs are not equal. But we also want to make sure that if we again read the prompt, that the temperature should be greater than the previous day yesterday. So we have to make sure that the date, the record date in the current day, and we can use date diff function. You can read about this function in the Google, date diff function. So the difference between the current date and the previous date should be just equals to 1 because it's an immediate day. And then also temperature for current date should be greater than the previous day. Now let's see. So now let's run this one. I forgot to add and. Okay, date function requires 3 argument. Okay, I think it is not supporting this one, maybe not in SQL Server. So let me copy this in the lead code. So here we are getting 2 and 4. Okay, so if you'll see 2 The record date here is 2015-0102. Temperature is 25, which is greater than the previous temperature. And then we are getting 4. Temperature is 30, which is greater than the previous temperature. Now we just want to extract ID and make sure that we want to extract the ID from the current, not the previous one. So if I click on submit, it has accepted our selection. So now let's look at the second solution, which is using window functions. So what I can do is I am copying this one. So I just want to get the previous date and previous temperature for the previous day. So there is a window function called as lag. So I'll put lag of record date. So lag means behind and lead means ahead. So I'm going back in the table, so I'm using lag. So I'll use lag of record date over. Now, and this we have already discussed that this is a function and this is a window. So it will create a window in the table without shrinking the table. So I can give it as alias as previous date. Now if you want to see the result, so this is how it will look. Okay, I have to put comma. Again, I think I have to remove this one just for running this query. Okay, so here if you'll see, for 240928 the previous date is null, and for 29 the previous date is 28. So similarly for temperature we can also get previous temperature. So it will be the same thing. Instead of record date it will be temperature and order by record date. This here the order by record date, because it should be in the order of record date. So we are just looking at, we are sorting on the basis of record date, and this I'll give it as alias as previous temperature. Okay, so here we are seeing that for the record date, this one, previous date is nothing, null, temperature is 70 and previous temperature is null. But for 29 previous date is 28, current temperature is 72 and previous day temperature was 70. Similarly for 02, current temperature is 74, previous date is 01 and the previous temperature is 75. Now I just want to get the, now I just have to put the filters. So I'll put all this in the temporary table, common table expression CT, and then I'll just query. I'll increase the font and I'll just query from CT. So select from CT what I want to get. I want to get everything, or I just want to get ID from CT, where date diff of current date and previous date should be 1, because these are immediate dates, and this temperature should be greater than previous temperature. Let's run this query in the lead code. Okay, I have to copy the temporary table as well. So if you'll see, our query is getting accepted by lead code. So what we did, I'll quickly summarize. So first we got the ID, record date, the one which was mentioned in the table. Then we went one step back for the previous record date, so we got it by using lag function. Then we used the current temperature, and then we went again one step back to look at the previous temperature. We got everything in the result. Now we can use the temporary table to query the final result using the conditions. The condition was that the temperature should be greater than the previous temperature, and then the date should be just one step back, which is compared to its previous day, yesterday. Thank you.